Hi everyone. It's been a while since my last posting. When you have kids home, it's hard to have a bunch of time to concentrate. So finally, I got time. So let's get started. Today, I wanna continue the last posting from here. El Rafael Reef. Uh, oh, I'm reading this book is not because I want to introduce you the content of this book. It's not my main purpose. I'm reading this book because it's easy and the phrases is not so difficult to understand, and my main purpose is to practice my English pronunciation, because I'm living in Asia, so I don't have much chance to speak English. So I have to practice by myself, and I think you have to read loud out, so then you can practice your pronunciation. If you only reading by yourself and don't read loud out, it's hard to maybe you can practice or increase your English words, learn more words from books, but it's hard to practice your pronunciation. Okay. L. Rafael Reef, president of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. When staying on top of the news feels like a full-time job. What is your morning routine? I set my alarm for 6 o'clock a.m., but I rarely get to hear it. I almost always wake up around 5 o'clock or 5:30 on my own. The moment I wake up, I drink a glass of water. When I check my email, as MIT is global on so many levels, I try to stay current on what's going on around the world, and I want to know what happened overseas during the night. I'll try to respond to any urgent messages right away. And then I take my phone or tablet to breakfast and read the news while I eat. After breakfast, I shower, get dressed, and then I'm off to my first meeting of the day. What time do you go to sleep? I try to go to bed around 11 o'clock p.m. I always read something, a magazine or a book, before lights out. I started reading that week's edition of The Economist on Saturdays, and that lasts me for the few days. Then I'll move on to a book for the rest of the week. I love reading history books and biographies. It's fascinating to look back at what happened, why it happened, and who made it happen. Do you do anything before bed to make your morning easier? Before I wrap up for the night, so sometimes, not sometimes, in this reading I use the red pencil to mark the words I don't know or I can't spell it, and then I use the green pencil to mark some phrases or some common use words I don't know how to use. Like I wrap up here. Before I wrap up for the night, I look at the next day's schedule to see what my staff has gotten me into over the next 24 hours. I use the fitness sleep tracker. It tells me how many hours I slept and the quality of my sleep. It's a curiosity more than anything else. I love data and I love comparing what the data says about my rest to how I think I slept. How soon after waking up do you have a breakfast? Once I've responded to any urgent emails from overnight, I go downstairs for breakfast. My wife usually wakes up around the same time and joins me. We both read the news while having breakfast and comment to each other on the issues of the day. What happens if you fail? If I don't have a chance to check my email, I worry about what I'm missing. Even when I do check my email, I still worry. And it happens rarely, but if I miss breakfast for some reason, it throws me off for the whole day. The word grumpy comes to my mind. Okay, next. Daisy Calm. Executive Director of the American Society for Muslim Advancement. When Ramadan wakes you up for dawn prayers, I don't know this word, but I don't look at the dictionary soon because I just read out a lot out and practice the way how to pronounce. And afterwards, maybe I look at the dictionary, or when I read this book a second time, I can look at the dictionary and check out how to use the word and to remember the phrases. Okay. What is your morning routine? My wake-up time depends on the fluctuating prayer time on the fluctuating prayer time. I adjust my wake-up time accordingly. Ramadan is a month when the body, soul, and mind not only get challenged but transformed as well. This Ramadan is really tough. I sleep at midnight, wake up from my deep sleep at 3 o'clock, 3:15 a.m. to eat a meal. Then I finish my dawn prayer and go back to sleep on a full stomach at 4:30, only to wake up again at 8:30 to go to work. How soon after waking up do you have a breakfast? Okay, the same question. I have to maintain an alkaline diet. So I drink lemon water right after getting up. I will then eat a very healthy breakfast about 2 hours later. Because I skip lunch, I start with black tea with milk. An English breakfast variety, cooked fava beans, protein, cucumbers, arugula. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce this word, so in this case, I usually look at the dictionary because I can't speak that. It's a problem here. ARU gula. How to? Okay.
Arugula.
Arugula. Okay, it's vegetables. Or eggs with gluten-free bread and homemade jams made by me. What are your most important tasks in the morning? Getting dressed is the task because I have to dress for both work and evening events. I don't have the time to read the entire New York Times on a daily basis, so I scan the paper, reach for my the problem comes again. SCISSORS. Okay, scissors. Oh, I know this word, but I didn't know the spelling. Scissors. Okay, so I mark this word to remember. To cut out the articles I want to read and save them in a pile for weekend reading. In a pile. This phrase. Every morning I feel like I'm doing arts and a craft. Do you also follow this routine on weekends? I don't want a routine on the weekend. That's my relaxing time. I let my body conquer me. I sleep when I'm tired and wake up without an alarm. What happens if you are traveling? I frequently travel internationally, often finding myself on long flights, so I use sleep aids to stay refreshed in different time zones. When I'm away from home, I give up my lemon water routine as it's too complicated to explain to TSA why I'm carrying lemons in my carry-on. Okay, next. Next. Okay. What Taylor Cowan professor of economics at George Mason University, author of Average is Over. When you have a hard stance against people who shower in the morning. What is your morning routine? I wake up around 6:30 or 7 a.m., drink some mineral water, munch on the green paper along with cheese and smoked trout, and then I head to my laptop to check the news, email, and Twitter. Toward the end of that sequence, I read four newspapers. That entire process can take up to 2 hours. It prepares me to think about what I will be writing during the rest of the day. From 9 o'clock to midday is my main writing period, though I will sometimes get some in after lunch too. How long have you stuck with this routine? What has changed? Since way back when there was no Twitter, and since way back, okay, when there is no Twitter and I ate spout flakes. What's this? Okay. Spout flakes, but I barely remembered those days. Some mornings I bite into some dark chocolate. It needs to be 70% or higher, but below 88% before the green pepper. Before the green pepper. I consider that a weakness of will. And so, a weakness of will, since the chocolate is more appropriate at the end of the sequence. The kind of cheese varies, but I prefer creamy goat cheese in the morning or high quality cheddar, even though those are not the best cheeses for later in the day. What time do you go to sleep? 11:26 p.m. Not every night at 11:26, but a fair number. Sometimes, if my wife and I see that it's 11:26 p.m., we joke that it's time to sleep, and then we sleep. Do you do anything before bed to make your morning easier? Excuse me. I leave my glasses on my laptop. I make sure I've already showered. Too many people waste some of their most productive morning time showering. Showering relaxes you and calms you down. Why should that happen in the morning? I prefer to enjoy my shower during the evening when I know I'm winding down in any case. What and when is your first drink in the morning? Garrow Steiner. I don't know how to speak this. Sparkling mineral water in Australian brand, first, last, and only. how does your partner fit into your morning? I read the paper standing next to her, and we chat interspersed. Okay. Okay, I will check this word. Intersperse.あれ interspersed s p e r s e d intersperse with that, there is no conflict in the overall match of routines as the needs to get out to do work of our own. Anything else you would like to add? The value of a good sofa and stereo is very high. Okay, next. Tim O'Reilly, founder and CEO of O'Reilly Media. When poems, philosophy, and a plank pose help wake you up in the morning. What is your morning routine? This word is hard to speak. I wanna read 3 times to practice. Normally. I normally wake between 5 o'clock and 6:30 a.m. Really. Later, I roll out of bed and immediately to do the plank for 2 minutes. I have a mostly tone rotator cuff, and this strengthens the muscles and helps keep it from tearing further. Excuse me, today my nose is not comfortable. I found that if I don't do this first thing, I often miss coming back. To it. I don't know this phrase. I often miss coming back to it. I will follow this with 10 or 15 minutes of stretches, which I do on the floor of the library next to my bedroom. Library in the presence of books that I love, old and new friends whose spines stimulate memories. Of their contents and the conversations they sparked about the nature of life and this world. I generally prefer not to open my computer or phone until I've spent some time in the real world. So I usually putter around the kitchen for a while, making tea for myself and my wife, Jane, and emptying the dishwasher. After that, we will usually go out for a 3 mile run or to an exercise class. When I get back, while cooling off, I let the chickens out into the yard and hang up the laundry on the line. If I've done any overnight, then it's a shower and on to the work of the day. How long have you stuck with this routine? What has changed? The laundry and the love of morning chores have been part of my life for decades. The plank became part of my routine about 4 years ago, and the regular morning exercise with Jane is something we only got really serious about a few years ago. The most delightful thing, delightful. The most delightful thing I've added to my routine over the past couple of years is that every day while out on my run, I try to find a flower to photograph. It's amazing how many different blossoms there are, and when you look for a new one every day, you see the changes of the seasons, the the immense bounty of nature, in the beauty of things that you might otherwise pass by. I remember reading many years ago in one of C.S. Lewis' parables about a man who, after death, is walking along a road and realized that the flowers simply appear like colored blobs to him. He is met by a spirit guide who explains that this is because he never really looked at them when he was alive. I don't want to make that mistake. Poems and philosophy, in the way they can infuse the ordinary work of the day and the world we live in with meaning, are an important part of my mental toolbox and my meditation. What time do you go to sleep? Anywhere between 9 o'clock and 11 p.m. Usually by 10 o'clock, Jane and I usually play around or chew a boggle before bed. And I like to read a bit right now. I've just finished the first of Upton Sinclair's 11-volume series of novels about a character named Lonely Bud. The novels of which George Bernard Shaw said, when people ask me what has happened in my long lifetime, I do not refer them to the newspaper files and to the authorities, but to the novels of Upton Sinclair. Do you have a morning meditation routine? I remember a talk given by Joseph Campbell, author of The Hero with a Thousand Faces and many other books about my theology and religion. Late in his life, he was in his 80s, but still strong and graceful. He told the story of how Alan Watts had asked him, "What kind of yoga do you do, Joe?" He replied, "I underline passages. For me, the best meditation is to try to be present in every moment and to open the doors and the windows of the mind to let the universe in." Do you answer email first thing in the morning? Once I open my computer, I do check email. I respond to as many as I can right away. Add others to the list and still others. Ales slip from my can and are lost as they scroll off the screen and are lost to people to get back to. I apologize. How does your partner fit into your morning? We do most of our morning routine together, though she tends to check her devices while I start pottering in the kitchen. When I start unloading the dishwasher, she joins in. Whoever gets downstairs first starts the tea. Okay, I finished today's reading, and next time I will read the over to you part. And thank you for listening, and see you next time. Bye.